Good morning, good morning, good morning. We hope everyone is doing good this morning. Welcome to this week's Access Denied, where we spend the week talking about all things in public education, but more importantly, we spend time talking, listening, and getting parent feedback. And I'll tell you today, we got some great topics that we're going to talk about in public education. We're going to talk about the NAEP. We're going to talk about NAEP. We're going to talk about some of our MAP scores as we've been talking to some of our parents about getting their scores back and what does that mean. I'm going to go through a couple of articles that some of our most powerful parents at Propel has done, give you some updates on graduation and our upcoming fellowship. And then, as always, we want to hear from you guys. And so welcome, come on in, share this out. Let us know you're here. Tell us good morning. How you doing this morning, Sonya?
I'm good. Why they let me get my hair come on here with the Trump hair? I mean, did you see that piece that was going? It did. You know how when you in the camera, the mirror don't do right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my daughter was just standing in front of me and gonna let me go out like that. How y'all doing? Hey, Tammy. Why come I'm like anxious to meet you in person? Can we please
I
get some
know.
coffee
I
or
know.
something? Please, can you do
You've
that
been
for me?
online dating.
We online dating. That's a good one. Hey, Miss Fitzgerald. I tell you what, John. Hey, Victoria. Christmas. I think Tammy need to come to our Christmas party.
Mm-hmm. It
That'd
is
be a
going to
good
be
time.
a joyous celebration.
Yeah. Yeah, we having a Christmas shindig. We celebrating our parents. I know I'm talking about it a little early, but we
Hey,
celebrating.
Hallmark already got the Christmas movies on, so you right on time.
Oh, you know what I did last weekend?
What's that?
Me and my good friend went and got us a hotel. We had Christmas lights and decorations, and we
Mm,
watched a Hallmark movie. And we ate everything we wanted. We had some good hamburgers and French fries, room service, and we had some cupcakes and some libations, and we just had Christmas.
just all the things that bring in the Christmas spirit. People laugh at me, but them Hallmark movies, I'm ready. I'm gonna do it after Halloween. Now, I'm not gonna get too early in it, but it'll be closer to Thanksgiving. But I'm gonna watch me a Hallmark movie or two. Watch Patti LaBelle kick off her shoes in one of the movies. Watch somebody fall in love with an elf. Like all the things that happen in the Christmas movie. Because the
Hey, you
elves
got to
need love
invite us
too.
up, man. You got it. Last year, y'all did the Christmas brunch, man. We got to do that. We had the pajamas,
Oh, you right. Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's always good times and it's always kid friendly. Cause yeah,
Oh man, maybe we should do like for our y'all. Wait a minute. Before we
yeah.
get into it, maybe our Christmas party should be pajamas. But y'all can't come in no lingerie now. You got to come in some real pajamas and have all that stuff covered up. Woo! Tammy said, yes, I was
No, I
seeing.
think that'd be amazing. I mean,
Tammy said she would love to hang out. Yes, let's talk. She said with you because I bet we got a lot. Yes, we got lots to talk about. We got a lot. Laquita, you gonna be on the committee to plan the Christmas party, girl? Huh?
like you said, just no lingerie, no lingerie.
Cover that stuff up. Put that up.
Yeah. But one of the things that we want to get into, we want to discuss the NAEP and kind of what that means. We had a really good speaker series this past Monday. If you missed it, please go back on our Facebook page and watch it or catch it on YouTube. If you did watch it, please share it out because I want to say Mr. Peter Tang really broke it down. Mr. Peter Tang helped explain away you realize a lot could growth and achievement. And talking to some of our fellows, I don't know their name, just graduated from our fellowship. It's been very difficult to understand these scores without getting the context.
Yeah, John. I mean, and I think that we accomplished our goal. And the goal going in there was to make sure that our parents understand the difference between growth and academic achievement. And I felt like, just based on
Mm-hmm.
the feedback, we left there at least with the understanding of growth. And if you understand growth, then it carries on with understanding what academic achievement is. So um thanks, Peter and Amanda, for being with
Yep,
us.
and Amanda.
We're gonna bring them back. And you know what? As we're thinking about going into the new year, hey Shamika, I want you guys to put in the chat some of the topics that you want to hear about, like experts that we can bring in for 2023. Okay, for our speaker
Mm-hmm.
series. Put in the chat if you like a specific topic, and let's see how that gels around literacy and the things that you care the most about. Would love to get some feedback on things that you want to hear about, you want to know more about, especially as we're educating you. Like, it's like, hey Sonia, hey John, I want to hear more about so and so, so and so. I want you to go back and talk about a specific topic. I know, John, like one of our most popular topics is IEPs.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, so we'll most definitely be talking about that again in 2023.
Yeah, and the funny thing, one of our parents who come on here, Miss Allen, she's
Mhm.
kind of been following us for 2 years, and her biggest issue is she has a daughter that has an IEP, and realized that her daughter has not been getting service. She knew it, but like listening to Access Denied, looking at the speaker series, making comments, and realizing that it's her kid too. And they didn't mess with the wrong one, I tell you, because she is not playing around, not
Man,
playing around.
it's such a heavy topic. It's such a big problem, right? I mean, and I want to explain something to the parents. It is such a wide net, right? And so this is what I want to help you to have some direction on how to address this. Most of the parents that we deal with have students who are dealing with what we're talking about today, John: growth and academic achievement
Mm-hmm.
as it relates to the IEP. Child is not reading. Child, is not reaching their greatest potential with the current plan that's around them and the current accommodations. Okay, so I want you to stay right there. I want you to envision what
Mm-hmm.
you want to be true for your child at the end. So by 12th grade, I want them to be on track, just like they should be, like any other 12th grade student should be. That should be your bullseye. I don't care if they have autism. I don't care if they have Down syndrome. I don't care about and it's a flying here. I don't care about the level of uh, barrier, okay, or gift. We're talking about gifted children too.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to land there. Can y'all listen? Can y'all hear me? I'm getting you to a place so you can get there quicker. You got to get there quick. What I want you to do is I want you to write down the end game. I want my child to be college ready. Boom. Don't think about their disability. Don't think about any of that. Don't think about how far behind they are right now. Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to map out, and then maybe this is an exercise I need to do on campaign call too. Where is it that you want your child to be by the time 12th grade? Then we're gonna work ourselves backwards with a plan. Are y'all following me? That's what we're gonna do.
But I think this is what we do know. Some of our most successful parent meetings, it propel, like parents reach out when they're going through some things and they feel the school is mistreating them or not communicating with them. And one of our best organizing tools is to ask, what does it look like to be successful by the end of the meeting? Because a lot of times they'll walk into the meeting and they'll get a lot of compliments, they'll get a lot of high fives, and they leave the meeting feeling good for the first hour, and then they just realize nothing got accomplished. And so when we just set the standard of what do you want success in this meeting to look like, they say they want to be heard, They want to make sure it may be an IEP and accommodations actually get entered, or they actually set a real meeting up, or it may be like I just want to make sure the teacher communicates with me on a regular basis. But that really helps our parents out to say, okay, I left and I got what I needed.
Right. But I want to help them to even be more effective too. Like, what is the long-term
Hmm.
plan? Usually when we go into those meetings, it's an acute situation. Like I mean a chronic situation. Like it's been going on for years. The same thing. Like most of the time when you guys come to us, it has gotten so bad and has been going on for so long, right?
Hmm.
That no one else has put the sense of urgency. Like their sense of urgency hasn't matched your sense of urgency. Or there is the betrayal. And we can already talk about that. Like I think it like this conversation is going right into the scores, John, that we're about to talk to, and the nation's report card. And
All right.
it's this is things that's been going on for decades. And so there's some bold actions that you can take as a parent, um to make sure that your children reach their greatest potential.
Yeah, and with these NAEP scores, and I know we're going to talk more. I'm getting ready. So one of the things on one of our calls, we ask parents to connect us to their school, like things that are going on. And so not only are we coming in on the back end when there's an issue, like we're actually like on the front end, making sure parents know they have a friend before they need a friend, but also administration knows that parents are not alone. And we're going to do some of that this morning. And so Torvis is going to be jumping on. But one of the things we don't want to forget, and we want to make sure we drill home this message, is the reality of these NAEP scores. And like, what is NAEP? Like, what happened with NAEP? Because I know you done heard it on 92Q, you done heard it on 101. Hopefully you listen to the new station, the Black Information Network on 97.5. I just threw them a plug because they're giving really good information about real communities. But I want you guys to have this and open up to this discussion and even do some research about NAEP, because it's telling you the best way to put it is our nation's report card. And some of these scores that you have seen us post, whether it's with Propel that you have seen in the media, like the nation's report card, which is NAEP, is confirming not only what's going on in Nashville, but what's going on across the country. And I think the Secretary of Education is trying to punt just a little bit and act like he didn't know it was a problem.
What I say he was doing, being what?
Mhm.
I said we tired of that. We tired of the fake reaction. Like, oh, I didn't know. That's so fake. And like
Yep.
John, that's the best way to put it. John, he's trying to pun it like he didn't know. And black folk, black
Mhm.
parents, Nashville Propel parents, Powerful Parent Network. We've been telling them for years. So don't even do that to
For
us.
years.
For years. We were standing right in front of Joe Biden in 2020, February 2020. We've already talked to Senator Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders. Like these are people that hold office or held office. These are not people that was just run. These are people that were currently in the United States government who really did not have education plans that were worth a quarter. So, folk ain't cared for a long time. Victoria said they knew. Yeah, they knew, they know, did, do, knew, known. They know.
But I tell you, in Atlanta, when those teachers got caught in that cheating scandal, they went to jail, and it was to send a message. But when I think about what we've been doing over generations and decades, like who need to go to jail now? Like you done set the precedent. You done like threw your fist down. Can we keep that same energy for people who are in front of our school systems who are continuing to lie, lie,
Man,
lie, lie?
John, can I tell you something? I sent you a picture, a screenshot of a post
Hmm.
I think that man is a black man who lives in the Green Hills, Bellevue area. Let me tell y'all something. This man said, he basically said that if your children are not doing good in school, he said it's your fault. And I looked at it and I stared at it and I stared at it and I stared at it. And then I went to the comments and I saw people celebrating his post. Even saw somebody who had run for school board who says he understand he liked it. And at that moment, I said, we got so much ground to cover. I think people get like parenting and education accountability mixed up. I guess that's the best way to put it. There's two different things with that. There is some responsibility of a parent when it comes to nurturing, growth, accountability, mental health. There's some things that have to happen in the home, even in my own home. Some things I'm good at, some things I might get an F in. But when I look down the timeline, I've got the receipt that these are not what they call lazy parents. Like I look at y'all and I'm like, these are people that are fighting for their kids. So some of them people I saw on his timeline, I know their kids can't read. I went to the beauty shop with their kids. Like a whole bunch of stuff. Like I done seen their kids in the community. And they was amen in that stuff. And I was like, okay, Sonya, don't get mad because my first reaction was like to get mad and I was gonna say something. But I think I told Cree this a few weeks ago. Why argue with a fool when you got receipts? We're just gonna organize more. We're just going to make sure that we're amplifying the voices of parents. And we've got to out organize somebody's small world and small thinking on Facebook. So I wanted y'all to know that we have so much work to do in educating people around the educational inequities. Like there is a real problem. Like nobody's like trying to put responsibility that's theirs on people. No, there are people that have some responsibility in this who are not doing what they're supposed to do. And they've grown very rich in it, right? And it's a system that has built the middle class. The school system built the middle class, y'all, even for Black people. And so that's what we're fighting against. We're fighting against people who want to protect their livelihood and people who don't want to take responsibility, people that even feel ashamed. Like there are many teachers who are feeling ashamed because of they're realizing that they have given poor instruction and they feel ashamed. And I don't want them to feel ashamed. I want them to do something about it. Now, I do want to shame the oppressor. If you figure it out and you still doing it and you just don't want to be responsible, that's oppressive. But once you figure it out and you want to fight for children, I think that parents can forgive that and say, hey, you didn't know, right? If you don't know, you don't know. But let's talk about these NAEP scores. The Nation's report card came out on Sunday, actually. It came out Sunday evening. And it's been the hot topic of the week. It's bad headlines such as crisis and, now everybody is moving from celebrations. Y'all know what I'm talking about, who I'm talking about, to two responses: crisis Or, yeah, we knew. But you know what they're not saying? They're not saying what they're going to do about it. And hence, that's where the problem lies. That people can actually watch these children do this, like go through this. They know the system is failing them. They know it is. Like they know it's not working. They now there's two comments. Some people say the system is working the way it's supposed to work. And then there's the system is not working. It's twofold. The system works for mostly children who don't have color in the way of privilege, like all the systems. The criminal justice system works for them. The education system works for them. The money system works for them. The housing system works for them because there lies the racism, the white supremacy, the privilege. Okay? That's where the system is working. Where it's not working is it ain't really educating nobody, particularly Black and brown children. And so the 2022 mathematics and reading report card for grades 4 through 8 came out. The nation's report card. Follow me. Here's the headline. The nation's report card is here, right? And it's a report card on the 2022 data for grades 4 through 8. And what they're saying is the average scores decline in both subjects. We knew that. The average scores decline for most states in both subjects and grades. And students' confidence in their mathematics and reading skills decline. That means that the children are throwing up the red flag. The children are starting to realize, oh my God, the children are starting to say things, and I quote, when I ask for help, I don't get it. Somebody said, what about Black teachers who are doing what they can to establish equity with those of color and other cultures? I like that question. This is not a teacher discussion that we're having. So I want to make sure that this is an everybody discussion. I believe that for the most part, every teacher is getting up in the morning to go into the classroom to inspire and educate children. This is what I know. We have a system failure where we know that there has been poor instruction and poor curriculum. As a matter of fact, an investigation was just put out by Emily Hanford. Listen to this, Anthony. I want you to listen to this, and I'm going to post it because I always like to make sure that whatever I'm telling you, that I bring the receipt. Okay. I want you to question everything, and I want you to question everybody. I want you to even question me when I say something. So the story. I want everybody on here. I want you to go to listen to what the words say, and we'll put the links in here. And sold a story. What has recently been revealed, and I want to talk about this because it kind of sets up why we got such a big problem. The curriculum, the balanced literacy that the country pushed, even Bill Clinton back in the 90s, but for a lot of years, the curriculum in schools across this country, balanced literacy, the way to teach children how to read, was wrong. So it's like, why do we have so many kids that can't read? That's what a betrayal is. The book company, there was this lady, can't remember her name, who came up with this method of teaching reading. It was really based off memory, sight words, and thinking that children, they'll just catch on. And if you read to them for 30 minutes, which is good, you want to read to children, but that does not teach them how to read, that these methods would help children how to read. And it's wrong. So we've got a system, whether it's local, state, or national, where even the teachers have been deceived. The book companies knew that what they were selling the school districts didn't work. So the very school district that our Black teachers are teaching in, our white teachers are teaching in, our Asian teachers are teaching in, people that I feel like I got friends that are teaching that give a damn about these kids, and I know they go hard for the paint in the paint. That's why we always land in it is a system failure. In some instances, there's a people failure, but for the most part, we are demanding better from the system. So, teachers, join the movement. Join our movement. You have been deceived. You have not been equipped. So, state of Tennessee put in some ed reforms and literacy because they knew that teachers were not being equipped. There's not a subject taught in our colleges and universities to teach teachers how to teach children how to read. Y'all must be shocked. I ain't lying. That's why the state of Tennessee put some reforms and some law to it. July 2021. It's went into effect. So we've got decades and decades of children receiving poor instruction. So no matter how hard that teacher was working with that child, they were inadvertently teaching them the wrong method to read. So now we've got these NAEP scores. I'm not just talking about metro schools, and we're not just talking about teachers whom we love, great educators, especially Black educators, because our children need to be able to see themselves. We're talking about the nation's report card. We're talking about what we talk about on this show, amplified across the nation. Are y'all following me? This is a national problem. A national problem. Victoria said everyone in the school can go to jail for poor instruction of our children if a parent can go to jail for truancy. You know why they need to go to jail? I don't think the teachers need to go to jail. I want to clarify that. They're victims. Did y'all hear what I just said? I think the book companies need to go to jail. They sold school districts. I think we had a school board member here in past year, Jill Spearing in District 3, who pushed balanced literacy, and she ruined the lives of hundreds of thousands of children and spent millions of metro school dollars on a fake literacy instruction plan for the district. Are y'all listening to me? When I tell you that this is as criminal as it gets, public education has the biggest heist in history. There needs to be federal charges against these book companies that sold these school districts these books and put them and train these educators. It wasn't their fault. But what I am asking for from educators is don't get defensive. We ain't talking about you. We asking you to fight with us. Because baby, you've been deceived and we need you. We need to make sure that we recover the children. There needs to be some reparations. This country does not leave its dead on the battleground when it goes to war. And what they have done is pass children through a system that they knew that was not working. And you know what they blamed it on? Black parents don't care. When they've created the school to prison pipeline by not teaching children how to read. Now let's go back to slavery. Ain't nobody ever gave a damn about us reading. And so year after year after year, when this data comes out, right? When this data comes out, they ignore it. And they say, yeah, you know, y'all not making sure your children are doing, you know, what they supposed to do. And you know, little Ray Ray comes in smelling like weed, and they curse and they disrespectful. I got a question. How many of them know how to read? But let me tell you why everybody's sounding the alarm. Can I just be truthful with y'all? Y'all know I'm going to say the truth. I need to examine this data a little bit more. But I think, you know, I think the reason why anybody has any piece of uproar about these NAEP scores, because it probably affected white children. Just going to be real. I'm going to unapologetically say what I need to say. I ain't going to Kanye West this thing and be disrespectful. I'm going to tell you the truth. So I want you to go. I want you, Cree, listen to what the words say. Cree, now I'm challenging you guys to listen to Sold a Story by Emily Hanford. What did I tell you? Question everything. You got to do your homework, because you got to understand, because we got a lot of people that we got to teach, and we got to help them to understand the problem, that we're not protesting for nothing. And then we gotta demand that they do something and do it quickly. Many of you have children in high school, just like I do. I have a 10th grader who was affected by this. Oh, I had even a current elected official. I had a current executive director of a big pro-Black organization here in Nashville in 2019 parent shamed me when I told the story of my son. She parent shamed me. And here we are. Here we are. And the story that I told and tell, the story of many of you, here's the receipts. Here's the prophecy. The NAEP scores are a prophecy. And we've been telling everybody. Victoria says, my daughter was shocked when she investigated that teachers are not given a course to teach students how to read. It is sad. Thank God that Dr. Swin and our state is requiring that they get that. Got a lot of work to do, though, because now we got to change the mindset, because we got to get people out of the defensiveness to them understanding that this is a problem, that if we don't act now, a couple of things are going to happen. Teachers are not going to enjoy teaching anymore, because you're going to be dealing with all this stuff. I talked to somebody today. I talked to somebody daily that works in the juvenile justice system daily in mental health. And he said yesterday that a teenager who is locked up, who's incarcerated, first of all, those kids don't even know what incarcerated means. You know, they don't even know what words mean. Had to sign a document and could barely write his name. Not just sign it. He couldn't barely print his name and put letters on paper and spell. He said, Sonia, you're right. He said, I haven't identified one that can read yet. Well, y'all listen to me. He said, I ain't identified one yet. When I do, I'm going to tell you. I talk to him every day. Let's see some of these comments. Yeah, Anthony says, I definitely agree that No Child Left Behind has messed up a lot of us and our folks. Yeah, No Child, let me tell you what No Child Left Behind. Can I educate you, Anthony? I would love to sit down and talk to you more. I love the dialogue. No Child Left Behind. We called that was a bed talk between Laura and George. There's a such thing as having good intentions and hurting people. I know y'all have heard that saying. I might not be quoting it word for word, but what No Child Left Behind did not do is it did not require states to have outcomes. No Child Left Behind was about accountability and money, basically. Like the federal government was giving states money, and they're like, okay, well, you need to start bringing us some data on these children because they realized they was getting duped. They was sending checks. Them checks was getting cash, and them children wasn't doing, wasn't getting what they needed to get. And so they started to hold the states accountable, which had to start holding school districts accountable. But what they did not require in that law is outcomes. They did not say we're going to hold you accountable and we're gonna require you to have outcomes. What it really essentially did was it was bad talk to providing us data to giving you more money if your school was low performing. No Child Left Behind looked at children as numbers. Now, we need the data. We need this only receipt. Like if you don't have the data, how you gonna know? How would y'all even know? So don't be walking around talking about we don't want them to have no test. No, hell no, test them. That's the only way we're gonna know. They are supposed, the outcome is the test should show us what they learn and that they're retaining it and that they're reading. Most of school and learning, y'all, is reading. Math is reading. Math, exponents. If you don't know what that means, if you don't know what an exponent means, then when you get to do problems like that, your comprehension is not intact. That's why we got to make sure now, Victoria, I'm getting ready to give you some science of reading, that children are able to decode. What does it mean to decode? It means to read a word, so to be able to sound to letter, to read a word quickly and understand the meaning of it. And you must be able to do that by 3rd grade. Chris said, I'm pissed because they're quick to call me about behavior, but never concerned about grades. Cree, we need to call them about grades. We got to call them about grades. If people are calling all of y'all, I want y'all to listen to me about your kids' behavior. What should happen is some teamwork. Should be some teamwork. There should be some coordination. And I think what Cree is saying is nobody's asking why there's a behavior. And nobody's willing to invest in helping. They're just writing them off. They're just expelling them and just saying they're not our problem. When Cree said, yeah, this is part of the problem. It may not be the entire problem.
Get the board off, it's gonna leave. Hey.
Cree is saying that it may not be the entire problem, but what she's saying is everybody needs to be accountable on that end too. Cree, I got you. Call me today. I know you pissed, but I want to encourage all the parents. Torvis, can I encourage the parents real quick?
Yes.
Torvis done been here, and Torvis has a strong why around this situation too. Torvis, can you start off with like the reason why you do this work? Because I think that helps.
I actually, what you're talking about, my reason is exactly for that reason. I know a child that was Actually, he was accused of robbing the Captain D's, but the child was actually on Facebook Live getting a tattoo. So when they took him downtown, um, they had him fill out some paperwork and sign some paperwork, and he signed the paperwork, but we didn't know he couldn't read and write. He just graduated, just walked across the stage in May, and in June he's in jail to this day. This was like 6 years ago. He signed a confession statement saying that he did do it, but the child didn't know what he was signing because he couldn't read it. Then they figured it out. So went to check on him in jail, and he was the people was like, he don't play cards, he don't play dominoes like none of the rest of the inmates. And this when we found out the child couldn't read and write. He didn't know numbers, so he couldn't do it.
So
So
the reason
exactly the
why,
reason what you were just talking about was they can't read, they can't write. He just walked across the stage. Everybody was cheering. He raising his diploma up. But they passed that child through, and it happened years ago. Years and he went through this whole system. And like you're saying, that's got to be criminal. These kids ending up in jail, but the people that's doing it to them is not ending up in jail.
hey
So that's
Cree,
exactly what you was talking about.
Cree, I so agree with you. She said, no, they're so quick to put them out. Just what I just said. They put them out like they're saying, F them, help me. I hear you, baby. We're gonna help you.
Yes.
We're gonna help you. We're gonna help you. First of all, you know what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the Father, because Cree, you know how we roll. But also, we're gonna get that child some help. We're gonna get you some help. Let me tell y'all something. It's just time to be real. This stuff takes toll on y'all, on everybody. Takes toll on parents, takes toll on teachers, it takes toll on the child, especially. It's taking toll on everybody. Why we gotta fight so hard all the time? I know you saying that. Anna Thorson said today to us, white woman. She fights for literacy just like we do. She's got dyslexia and she's a lawyer. She's fighting. This morning she tweeted, I don't know if you saw it to her, but she said, I'm tired. She said, I'm tired of fighting against the district. They won't listen. They won't do nothing you ask. They know what's wrong. They're just getting elected. She was talking about Nashville Public School Board. And I tweeted back at her, I love you, sis. Keep fighting. That's why we got to fight together. Cree, please know we got your back. I'm still waiting on you to call me. I know you busy. You was at work. Call me. Let's get on this. I leave town next week, and I really want to get on this. I really want to get on this. I'm ready to help you and others. God bless you. I'm just asking the Father to give you guys, all of you guys, some peace. Stuff is hard. This work is hard. Torvis, you do this work every day, and the stuff that you hear from parents, like, is it like all the same? It seems like
This is all the same. It's the same thing every day. It's like every day you wake up, it's gonna be a problem. And it's just not treating the kids right. They're not doing right. Just like you said, it's a system failure. And to us, it's a system failure. To them, I think the system is working well designed. Because these kids that come through the education system, they get paid, and then they don't educate them. They make a mistake, they in jail. They getting money off of them in jail. So it's just going from one system to another, like we always say. Number one, in schoolyard, the prison yard pipeline, and they keeping their pipeline up and running and keeping it going. Um,
yeah. I mean, I
then they
don't
always talking about they don't know. I didn't know this, and it's a surprise. Well, it's your job to know. It's criminal. So people need to go to jail for this stuff. But you threw out not too long ago, you talking about putting librarians in jail because of some books in the library, like they can read all these books. I remember in Atlanta, those teachers helped some kids with a test. All of them went to jail. So if you can put those people in jail, which is people of color, what about all these people just making these books and things? Why come none of them go to jail?
I think some heads about the roll about this curriculum thing. I really do. I think that Emily, sold a story. I want you to listen to that one, Torvis. Just listen to one episode every morning. This your
Mm.
stuff. This your stuff right here. This right here. This gonna be, you gonna be like, what? Like, I know how your brain think. There may be something we can do with this information. Y'all, this is terrible. Like, we're talking like almost like a pharmaceutical company giving people cancer drugs. that are wrong. They knew they didn't cure cancer. That's
Mm.
that's what I liken it to. That they're saying, okay, we got this drug to cure brain cancer, and they know good and well they don't. That's how bad this is. So I know that's your stuff. That's how
Yeah,
bad this is. Emily brought that stuff to light. She did a whole investigation on it. And you know she know her stuff.
yeah,
Y'all, this is look, sold a story. Go just Google it. Sold a story. Listen to it. As a matter of fact, I think we need to bring Emily on. We need
yes,
to bring her on in the new year, possibly for speaker series. We talk about this. This is terrible.
yeah. Parents need to know that. We need to magnify it, so we need to bring it on so we can hear the truth and hear what's going on with it. So parents will know and they can magnify it because, like you said, this is bad. You've been all these many years. You've been saying this and that's gonna help kids, and you knew for a fact, all for money. Okay,
Man, and like, but Torvis, that's why I say it ain't the teacher's fault. They didn't know.
yeah,
They didn't even know, but now they do. That's all I'm saying. When you know, like that should piss them off, man. Because what has happened is you think little Johnny is bad when it's just the fact little Johnny is bored and he can't read, so he gonna act up. Like that's a
yeah,
proven fact. So we're incarcerating. Yeah, enough is a damn enough. We're incarcerating children who just weren't taught, and that causes mental health problems. Like that causes, and there's other things. Yeah, there's some things that happen in some families,
yeah.
but you know how I'm gonna counter that. Teach me how to read so they can get out of that,
Exactly. Teach them how to write their name.
so
Teach
they
them
can get out of
anything.
that.
Right.
Just do that part. We're gonna do the
Yeah.
other stuff over here at home in the community. Do that right, so we can focus on that. Do that.
Exactly.
That's all I'm asking. Teach them how to read.
Yeah.
And
Do
I don't
their
think
part. We can do our part. Do your part. We can do our part. Okay, I understand this is going on. But like you said before, what this child go through at nighttime, you don't know. There's a lot of kids in this district is homeless. We understand these kids are homeless. They have nowhere to go. It's cold outside.
In the hero
Right.
program. We had a kid,
Exactly.
remember the kid we was dealing with a few months ago in the hero
Yes.
4.3 GPA, going to
Yep.
school at McGavick, got into it with one of the teachers who, and then the principal was the teacher's friend. So the
Yep.
teacher kept the principal, if he was in the heroes program, homeless, living in Antioch, driving to look, working all day, maintaining an apartment,
Yep.
no electricity, hardly no food, driving from Antioch to McGavick, make it a 4.3, and if he's late for school, you suspend him. Work with him. My
Yeah.
God.
Give us some type of help.
No,
God.
he's expelled. Now he's expelled.
I heard so much about kids getting expelled now. It's like we don't want to deal with you, so we just put you out.
Man,
Okay,
this
so if you
is
put me
insane.
out, you keep the money for these kids. You get paid for them to be in this district, but you putting them out. Every time I turn around, somebody get expelled. You got kids getting bullied, and then they fight back. They get expelled. No problems.
I don't
I'm like,
understand. We don't
I'm
see
just
kids get their eye socket busted out and the kid didn't get expelled. I want to see
right.
the rubric for expulsion. Like something ain't right about this. Like there should be a process, some kind before an expulsion. There needs to be some type of intervention, like on
Yeah,
a big scale, before we think about putting kids out of school. Like I understand they bring a weapon to school. You know better than that shit.
right.
Like if they 5 years old and they mama and them, you know what I'm saying, got a
Yeah,
gun and they got it, I think we got to look at that, right? We
yeah.
got to look at different situations because they shouldn't have access to a gun.
Exactly.
But some of these kids are being expelled, and I'm like, how did it get there so fast?
Right. You never been in trouble, and then it's like one problem, and are you done? You out of school? You're not gonna learn anything in school. You're expelling kids for IEPs. They can't learn that in school because they don't have a parent at home. And even with the situation, kids bringing guns to school. If something is making the kids bring their guns to school, like I said, they bullying. Some of them scared for their life, and a lot of them are joining gangs for protection. So it's a cause and effect on this. We gotta look at this cause. This stuff is happening, and it keep on happening over and over and over again.
I did something that was probably very dangerous this morning, and I didn't think about it until after I did it. I saw these two teenage boys around eight something. You know they supposed to be at school, walking
All
down
right,
the wrong side of the street. First thing I thought about is their safety. I slowed down. They had shit. They had blunts in their hand. I said good morning, and they said good morning. I said I don't mean to interrupt you. I said, but I'm worried about your safety because these people drive so crazy down this street and so fast. Your back is turned to them, and I don't want them to hit you out of nowhere. You'll never know they hit you. He said, "Do
right.
you mind?" I said, "You should probably walk on the other side of the street so that you can see what's coming and get out of the way." Couple of things here. They didn't even know what side of the street to walk on. Number two, with some love, some empathy, and kindness, they listened to me and said, "Yes, ma'am." They had blunts in their hand. Blunt, like they supposed to be at school. They have blunts. Here I am, education advocate by myself. And I said, "Baby," I said, I just don't want you to get splattered out on the road." They said, "Yes, ma'am," and they crossed the street. Little
I know
love,
you can.
a little empathy, a little understanding, less judgment. We might be able to make that. That taught me two things. Number one, I am really crazy. Stopping by myself, two boys. Number two, I am really crazy because I love kids that much. And number three, we are really crazy not to try to save these children. We would be crazy not to do it.
It's ironic that you said that because I saw a child the other day walking to Maplewood on the wrong side of the street. They had a blunt in his hand, and I said, you ready to go to school? You should smoke a blunt." He said, "Yeah." He said, "I just thought I'd go ahead and smoke it now versus smoking it in the school." I said, "Y'all smoke blunts in school?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, okay." Just like that. Walking down the street like it ain't nothing. I'm talking about right there in front of the school. I'm like, this is crazy.
But let me tell you something. Those children are reachable.
Yeah.
Even even with their blunt in their hand, even with the blunt in their hand, you were able to talk to him. And no, I don't want that blunt to be in their hand. I saw that, I was appalled, but I had to let them know I cared.
All right.
I had to let them know, look here, y'all gonna get splat. Like, now, so I realized there's a deficit. You don't even know what side of the street to walk on,
Yeah.
right? So
Definitely.
so nobody really cared to even teach them that, possibly, like because maybe they didn't think about it.
All right.
It could it I think somebody probably cares about them, but maybe they didn't think the way that I think. And so I'm empathetic to maybe some people don't think the way that I think. And that's not to say that those kids were neglected or anything. Maybe somebody just didn't think about them walking on the side of the street, the wrong side of the street. And so if everybody just keeps riding past them and not saying anything, they'll never know.
Right. Yeah. It reminds me of a guy. His name Chris Dobbins. He's from Nashville. I was doing physical therapy at the time, and he was a star athlete in at Glen Cliff. and everybody was afraid to talk to him, whatever. Well, the boy would come with thousands of dollars in his pocket to rehab. He hurt his ankle. I'm like, okay, what are you doing? He's the one who granddaddy they busted in the wrong house, and his granddad put out a shotgun and they killed him. So this boy was on a downward spiral, and I was like, man, what are you doing? He's like, man, I'm getting this money, whatever. And he thought he was, he can outrun everybody. I said, I'll tell you what, if I race you and I beat you, you're gonna listen to me. I said, I'm gonna help you get in college, and then after this, it's on you. He said, you can't beat me. Race the boy, I beat him. So he listened to me. That boy ended up. My thing was, I'm gonna get you in college. You go pro, don't come back to Nashville. That child ended up going to Iowa State, played running back, ended up being a linebacker for the Houston Texans, San Diego Chargers, and the Miami Dolphins. And to this day, I still talk to him. He's like, "Thank you," because I did just me, just racing the little boy, and he listened to me, and he got out of Nashville. He got out of the trouble. He don't selling drugs no more. He got a family and everything. So, like you said, these kids are reachable. You got to want to talk to these kids. You got to want to help these kids. They reachable.
They're reachable. They're reachable. And Cree again, she said, I'm asking for help for my son, fighting for help. And then now he's expelled for fighting. But this is something I've been trying to avoid. I've been calling to get him into another school. No response from anyone. I'm sick of it. Setting our children up to fail. We hear this all the time, and it breaks my like. There's not a time that it doesn't break my heart. Again, Cree, call me. Let me see what we can do. Um, this is this is it's
Mm.
just I have no words. Um, and I know Cree been fighting for him, and this is why I want to explain something to you guys because this is a prime example of addressing stuff at the school level is never going to work. If we don't change, disrupt, or have an exit ramp out of the system, this system will not work. The school is abiding by a system that really does not watch over what it's doing.
Mm.
And I'm sure I want to sit down and talk to you, Pre, because I'm sure somebody looked at you and smiled and said they was helping and this and this and this. And things will get better for a little while. Then it go back downhill. Or maybe you were reporting something. Oh, you know what? I don't know circumstances. Maybe, he's got some accountability too. But somebody should have been working with you in that school. The ultimate goal is to make sure that children are successful. And when you have that, that means you go by many. She said, my son is starting not to care anymore. He's only 15. I know. We finna put him with some people. Torbis, we got him.
What school is that?
East.
Oh,
It's something.
oh, they
Yeah.
they messed up.
Yeah. This
Oh
is
yeah,
this is
they
the
don't messed up.
this is the whole East thing that continue. Like Cree, you ain't the
Started
only
last
one.
year. It started last year with the East thing over there with Jackson. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I got you. And that's my kinfolk y'all messing with. So yeah, okay. You got you, Chris.
This is
Anybody else?
tell your son we're gonna need for him to work on one thing, and that's caring. That's the only thing we need him to do. He's got the hard part. He's got the real hard part. Thank you for being vulnerable, Cree, because we live. Other parents are hearing this, but you ain't the only one going through it. But this is what I need y'all to do. This is what I need y'all to do as parents. I need you to build the confidence of your children. I've been here. Maybe not so with some of these behaviors, but with other behaviors, depression and feeling low. And I need you to do this. Your first priority is to go home and get your child to care. How do you get your child to care? Let me tell you how to do that. You set high expectations for your child, but you let your child know. You go home and say these words to him. You are my beloved son. And although you haven't been perfect, I have a vision for your life. I have a vision for your life. And I need you to fight to care about yourself, because the fight is about to change. And we're going to have to do some stuff to make life better. And we all going to have to work hard. And you got some catching up to do. And you gotta do some stuff to help your own confidence. You gotta believe in yourself. You have to go speak some love into him. Go speak some love into your children. Speak some high expectation into your children. And you tell them what you want them to be. And you find a way, if it's one sentence, for them to say something to themselves every day. Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? Every day. I am somebody is just enough. You know what? I am somebody. You know, I do deserve better. I deserve better. So it might be the question of, what do you want to be true when you graduate from school? Tell me, son, tell me about that. Let's sit down and talk about that. What you want to be true. What's your dream for yourself? And then you have to be truthful to them. I'm talking to all parents. And you need to say, all right, it is not impossible for that to happen, but we got some work to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to need for you to put in some work, and I'm going to put in some work over here. I'm going to advocate. I'm going to fight for you. And you know what? Whatever adjustments I need to make, I'm going to make them. But we in this fight together, and we're going to win this.
I'm calling all parents. All parents, we need to help. I can say Tish Wiggins, Dominique Hanson, Jashika Lebo, Jacquez White. All y'all had the same problems at East.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we got to do something about it, because it's going to keep on going on and on and on. We got to put an end to that. We got to stop this.
But first things first, before we fight. Go home, hold them accountable, set up high expectations. Yes, pour more in your children. I learned about that with Malik. Yes, you got to build him up, because I'm going to tell you something. They're going to do stuff going to happen to them. Right now, no matter what the situation, whatever parent is listening to me, now I'm having some parenting skills today. You've got to go home, keep pouring in the love, set some high expectations, but you've also got to create a space where you've got to be transparent with them and say, you got some work to do too. And it's okay. We all got work to do.
Yes.
But you're going to have to put in some hard work in order for you to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish. Because when he gets back in school, he's got to catch up. He's been out a few days. Now you got to catch up. So it's going to be some hard work on your part. You got to get through all of the things that people said to you. You expelled. You a bad kid. You ain't going to amount to nothing. Yeah. All the things that kid may be, y'all, I'm telling you, they tell themselves things too that are not true. So go home. Your first job, everybody listening to me, even if your child ain't going through nothing, I'm going to do the same thing when I get off of here. I got 2 girls at home with me right now, and then on the car ride home with my 16-year-old, I'm going to have the same talk. I'm going to point to them and tell them what they are. Yeah. Instead of what the world tells them that they're not. That is the call of action to every parent listening to me today. You go home, Torvis, you go home today with Trinity get home, and you tell her everything that she is that is great. Do y'all hear me? Hold them accountable to the things that they got to work on. You ask them, what do you need to work on? You go home and you pour in love. Hold them accountable. Ask them, what is your dream? What do you want to be? They say, I want to be a football player. Okay, are you doing the things to be a football player. And then on November the 5th, if they say they want to be a football player, I want you to bring them at 11 o'clock a.m. to hear a real football player who's won the Super Bowl, Corey Harris. And I want you to bring your children. If your children say they want to be star athletes, which that's what a lot of children say, I want you to bring in. If they say I want to rap, I want you to bring in. I hope Thomas is there, so Thomas can talk about the rap game with them. If they want to be engineers, we'll get an engineer in there.
Yes.
If they want to be a teacher, we'll have teachers in there. Let's pour into our children in a different way. That's our job. The school's job is to teach them how to read. The school's job is to educate them and inspire them to do the things that they dream about. The school's job is to partner with the parent. No, I don't want you mothering my child. But sometimes the school doesn't show up with what they're doing. And so the response you get back from parents is what you get. They know y'all not doing what y'all doing, but y'all don't never want to say, we're not doing our part. And that's all. That's why the parent be acting like that, saying y'all call me about behavior, because they know you ain't doing your shit. They know what's not happening with their kid, but then you want to come at them. And all they're saying is you bring your stuff to the table. I know what I need to do at home. I know I got some issues. But I need to bring your plan. Go ahead, Torbis.
I said, I'm like, we all have issues. We understand that. But like you said, you got to do your part. We work on our part, but you're not even owning up to your part. No transparency, no accountability. Like you said, don't be calling me about behavior. He did this. Well, you know his dad ain't there. I don't want to hear all that. Do your part, and we can do ours.
And we went over a little bit, but I think it was needed. Mothers, fathers that are listening, community partners. Even if a school comes back and listen to this. That's right, Cree. It takes a village. It takes a village, and we're going to be that village. If you're interested in joining our movement, go to NashvillePropel.org. Sign up on the web form, join the movement, and one of our organizers will contact you. I want you guys to go and be blessed. And I want you to know it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
It's going to be all right. And I'm going to take my Nashville Propel hat off and my executive director hat off, and I'm going to pray. I'm going to put on, this is mama talking now. Sorry. I'm on my lunch break. I'm going to pray for y'all, if you don't mind. Father, through this camera, I can hear heavy hearts from these mothers and people from the community. I can hear fear because we don't know what's going to happen with our children. And we know that you sent them to us for us to take care of them. And when things don't go the way that they should, it grieves us. And sometimes, Lord, we don't know what to do but to be still. And sometimes we get so overwhelmed. We don't know what the next move is, but I'm asking you to order our steps. I'm asking you to place a hedge of protection, in particular around Cree's son, who is 15, who is your beloved son, in whom you are well pleased, as she is too. And around Malik. I'm going to ask that the weapons that are formed against him, although they are formed, that they not prosper. And I'm going to ask you to pour into the spirit of Nashville Propel as leaders, lead us and guide us. Help us to help these parents to demand better for all children. And Lord, as we go through the daily pains and toils and snares of fighting for our children as individuals, I'm asking you to give us all strength and grace and mercy And I'm asking you to do it quickly. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I done became a praying mama. I got 4 children. They all got their stuff. And it don't always smell good. It's the best way to put it. And as they get older, let me tell you, mamas, it gets harder because then they're more and more coming out of being controlled, and we've controlled them, and everything that's happened around them, we've been able to kind of control it. So as it gets older, we've got to think about what are the different supports that we need to put in place. Because I believe that as they get older, there's not enough around in the community to help us to help them either. So I love y'all. Thank you for engaging today. We went over, but we needed this time together. Love you all. See you on next week. Go and be blessed. Bye.
Yeah. I heard what you said to that person. Yeah.